The days following the group study event were a whirlwind of emotions for Kai. The camaraderie he had begun to feel with Ren left him both exhilarated and unsettled. It wasn't just their banter that felt different. It was the way their gazes lingered a bit longer, the accidental touches that sent electric currents through him. Kai tried to shake it off, convincing himself that it was all in his head, but the truth was impossible to ignore. One evening, Kai found himself at the library again, poring over notes for their project while stealing glances at Ren, who sat across the table, intensely focused on his laptop screen. The quiet hum of the library felt comforting, a cocoon that wrapped around them, shielding them from the outside world. "Hey, can you pass me that book?" Ren asked, breaking Kai out of his reverie. "Sure," Kai replied, reaching across the table. Their fingers brushed briefly as he handed Ren the thick textbook, and a shock of warmth surged through him. It was just a touch, but it sent butterflies fluttering in his stomach. "Thanks," Ren said, his voice dropping to a softer tone. He looked up, locking eyes with Kai for a moment too long. Kai's breath hitched, and he quickly averted his gaze, trying to regain his composure. So, where were we?" Kai stammered, clearing his throat. He was grateful for the cover of his notes, allowing him to hide his embarrassment. "We were discussing the environmental impact," Ren said, his tone light again. "You're really into this, huh?" "Yeah, I mean, it's important," Kai replied, trying to sound casual. "We want a good grade, right?" "Right," Ren said, a playful smirk returning to his lips. "But I'm beginning to think you want a great grade just to prove you're smarter than me." "Why do you have to make everything a competition?" Kai shot back, rolling his eyes. But inside, a flutter of excitement danced in his chest. As they continued to work, Kai's focus drifted again, and his mind racing with thoughts of Ren. When he finally snapped back to reality, he found himself staring at Ren, who was deep in thought, his brow furrowed slightly. "Is my brilliance mesmerizing you?" Ren teased, breaking Kai's trance. "Hardly," Kai retorted, but a smile crept onto his face. Just then, a sudden commotion erupted behind them. A group of students burst through the doors, laughing loudly. Startled, Kai instinctively leaned back in his chair, but in doing so, he lost his balance and tipped over, sending his chair crashing to the floor. "Whoa!" Ren exclaimed, jumping up to help him. "You okay?" Kai groaned, cheeks burning with embarrassment, as he scrambled to sit up. "Yeah, just my dignity taking a hit." Ren chuckled as he reached out a hand to pull Kai up. "You really need to work on your balance." "Thanks for the tip, expert," Kai shot back, brushing himself off as he stood. As they resumed their work, Ren's demeanor shifted again. He seemed more attentive, his usual teasing replaced by an unexpected kindness. He offered Kai some snacks from his bag, making small talk as they resumed their studies. "Are you sure you don't want to take a break?" Ren suggested after a while, glancing at the clock. "We've been at it for hours." "I guess we could," Kai replied, surprised at the thoughtfulness. He didn't want to admit how nice it felt to spend time like this, away from the petty bickering. "Let's go grab coffee," Ren proposed, a hint of excitement in his voice. "There's a cafe nearby that has great pastries." "Sure," Kai said, feeling a warmth spread through him at the thought of being alone with Ren outside of their usual banter. At the cafe, they found a cozy corner table, the smell of fresh coffee mingling with sweet pastries. As they sat, Kai noticed how Ren's expression lit up when he talked about his favorite drinks. "I always get the caramel macchiato," Ren said, his eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. "It's the perfect blend of sweet and strong, just like me." Kai laughed, unable to resist. "So, you think you're sweet and strong, huh? That's a bold claim." "I'm just stating facts," Ren said, smirking, "and you're just jealous you didn't come up with it first." They continued to banter, but something in the air felt different. With every laugh and every shared glance, Kai felt a shift within himself. As they sipped their drinks, he found himself lost in Ren's eyes, feeling a warmth growing between them. Suddenly, Ren leaned in slightly, lowering his voice. "You know, I've been thinking, maybe we're not so bad together after all. Kai's heart raced. Yeah? I mean, I guess I could say the same. But before he could process the weight of those words, Ren's expression shifted to something more serious. You know, it's weird. I don't get why we started off hating each other so much. I think it was just a front for something else. What do you mean? Kai asked, his pulse quickening as he felt the tension building. I don't know. It's like, when I'm around you, I can't help but feel this weird connection. It's frustrating, but... Ren trailed off, his gaze flicking away, as if afraid of what he might say next. Kai's breath hitched. Yeah, I feel it too. Just then their eyes locked again, and the moment felt charged, electric. Kai could hear his heartbeat in his ears, the silence between them stretching out into something palpable. Suddenly, Ren's phone buzzed, breaking the moment. He glanced at it, his expression shifting back to playful annoyance. Ugh, it's a group chat. Probably more jokes about my pranking skills. Kai chuckled, the tension dissipating slightly as they both resumed their usual dynamic. Yet, as they finished their drinks and prepared to leave, Ren brushed his hand against Kai's, and the world around them seemed to fade away. Thanks for coming with me, Ren said, his voice softer than before. Any time, Kai replied, his heart racing again. He felt a connection stirring beneath the surface, something that could no longer be ignored. As they stepped back into the bustling campus, Kai couldn't shake the feeling that their playful rivalry was evolving into something much more complex. He looked over at Ren, whose smile brightened the dreary afternoon, and wondered just how far this unexpected bond could go.